Greetings all, I'm Dubious Khan, and welcome into the Idiot Box, a showcase of the best, worst, and weirdest that television has to offer. And welcome to another edition of Pilot Season, where we take a look at the pilot for a series that never made it, and try to figure out why. Blazing Saddles. Yes, we all love Blazing Saddles, but... Blazing Saddles was directed by Mel Brooks. Knock it off! One of Mel Brooks' best-known films, and frequently cited as one of the best comedies of all time, Blazing Saddles was a smash hit send-up of the traditional Western movie, as well as a pointed argument about the stupidity of racism. The film was released in 1974 and was written by a team which included both Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor. However, the initial draft of Blazing Saddles was written solely by Andrew Bergman, whose original concept was a little more basic. Pretty much, it was a comedy involving everyone speaking with the slang and attitudes of the 1970s while living in the 1870s. And while the original script was reworked, retooled, and even retitled into the classic comedy that we know today, Bergman's original concept would in fact live on, in the form of a pilot for a television series that was to be titled Black Bart. Black Bart was developed by Michael Elias and Frank Shaw, based on Andrew Bergman's original script for Blazing Saddles, which was originally titled Black Bart. The pilot was created with no input from Mel Brooks, Richard Pryor, or any of the other writers on Blazing Saddles, which in itself would seem like a really big flag for any network executive looking to take this pilot to series. The show features Louis Gossett Jr. as Sheriff Bart and a cast of largely forgettable actors, the most notable of which is Steve Landesberg, best known for playing Detective Dietrich on Barney Miller. That reminds me. Put Barney Miller on review schedule and get that one guy who does a great Abe Vigoda impression to do a cameo.
I think I broke my ass.
Obviously, this show was never picked up as a series, which begs the question, how far did it stray from its roots? Or, more accurately, how closely did it return to its roots?
Lord God, help that boy. They're gonna whip him dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, I've been having feed problems lately. My cutaways have started thinking that they're funny, much like Family Guy.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
You see what I mean? But before we start drowning in cheap random gags, let's instead look at cheap show-related gags as we take a look at Black Bart. Obviously, the most important thing in a TV comedy is establishing right out of the gate what the general sense of humor is, and in Black Bart's case...
Everybody out!
we start with total mechanical failure. Foreshadowing. One of the stagecoach passengers heads for the sheriff's office and asks the gentleman of African descent he finds there to get the sheriff for him.
Hey, boy, tell the sheriff I want to see him.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Telegraph joke in 3, 2, 1. Wait, run that again. Oh, great, the first warning sign of a terrible comedy. A laugh track. Brace yourselves, this is gonna hurt. The guy from the stagecoach turns out to be a gun salesman and tries to get Bart interested in a new six-shooter.
A nigger sheriff.
Mister, in some towns you say nigger, you get your smile. This town, you get your nose shot off.
No offense, sheriff, but not with an old pig shooter like that.
Mister, this pig shooter's been in my family since Daddy stole it from the massa. It's not just another gun. This is part of me. You take trade-ins?
No, sir. $40 cash.
After agreeing to give Bart a 24-hour tryout, there's trouble in the saloon and Bart whistles for his trusty steed. Okay, here's where the show gets to make its first major mark, because there's nothing more iconic in a TV Western than the name of the hero's horse. We've had Silver, we've had Trigger, we've even had Tornado, which, if you're wondering, is the name of Zorro's horse. So let's see what memorable moniker Bart's horse goes by.
Yeah, Whitey.
Bart mounts Whitey. There's a sentence I never thought I'd be saying on this show. And heads for the saloon where local town douche nozzle Curly is raising hell for what is apparently the umpteenth time. There, Bart is met by his deputy, Reb Jordan.
Yeah, Curly says he's gonna kill you. He even took a shot at me.
Hey, you remember in Blazing Saddles how Gene Wilder played Jim the Waco Kid, whose main characteristic was being a demoralized alcoholic gunslinger who eventually sobered up and got better while he was riding with Bart? Yeah, Reb never got that far.
Reb, now what were you doing in that saloon?
I was just having a steak sandwich. Look, I swear, I haven't had a drink in 4.5 months.
Foreshadowing!
Say good night, Curly. The dance is over.
Do something, Sheriff. I'm on my break.
Get lost, boy.
So Bart outshoots Curly and is about to arrest him, except Curly's uncle shows up, who just happens to be the mayor.
Right. Drinks for the house. For those who lost a toe, doubles.
But this doesn't cut any ice with Bart, and he puts Curly under arrest.
All right, Reb. Lock him up.
Hey, my uncle took care of this. Something wrong with your ears, spook?
Reb, on the way to the jail, stop at the dock and have him fix Curly's nose.
Nothing wrong with my nose.
There he is now.
Say, you remember in Blazing Saddles how Madeline Kahn played Lily von Stupp, an oversexed German saloon gal with the hots for Bart? Well, this show apparently thinks it would be even funnier if there was another oversexed German saloon gal with the hots for Bart with disabilities.
Why don't we talk later, tonight, after I close,
Thanks, Belle, but I'm gonna be working late tonight, ma'am.
Sweetheart, darling. Tell me, is it because of my limp?
No,
Is it because of my eye?
no,
Is it because of this?
no,
What?
no.
It must be the fact that I... Oh, Bart. You've got a white horse. Why can't you have a white girlfriend?
You remember when those 4 dudes tied me up and threw me in the well?
Yeah.
Well, that was for having a white horse.
Okay, so Bart has no problems punching an ignorant redneck right in the nose for using a racial slur to his face, but he's also worried about possibly being beaten and drowned if he starts dating a white woman. But this may not even actually be true because it's quite clear that he's got no interest in Belle in any sort of romantic capacity at all. So that would mean that the entire point of this exchange is... comedy? After meeting with the mayor and informing him that he's arrested Curly, Bart heads back to his office. Reb shows up to announce that the mayor is putting together a mob to come free Curly. You may have noticed that Reb is wearing a hat which is quite clearly part of a Confederate military uniform. Which, of course, begs the question, why would a former Confederate soldier even bother taking orders from a black sheriff? Well, believe it or not, we actually get an answer.
Remember what I said the day you showed up here?
Uh-huh. Holy Manolia, Ethiopian. Why, if he thinks I'm gonna take any orders from a flat-nosed, pink-eyed, nappy-headed darky just because he's wearing a tin badge, well, he got another thing coming.
Hey, you remember what you said to me after that?
I didn't say anything, Reb. I just took my pistol and smacked you upside the head with it.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. That's when I started to respect and fear you.
Bart heads out to send a telegraph for a judge to try Curly, but when he gets back, Curly's long gone, and Reb...
Red. Red? Red. What happened?
I come home and all the closets were empty. And nobody on the plantation would tell me where my wife went, except the darkies. Massa, Missy Kate done run off with your best friend. Why did they tell me when no one else would?
Red. Which way did they go?
First they went to a hotel in Savannah.
No. I'm talking about Curly.
Oh, Curly's a good old boy. His uncle Malaga the mayor brought him this jug, and we all drank it. They said, tell a nigger, excuse me, that's what they said, not to come after them or they kill you.
And it's at this point that Reb becomes one of the biggest drags on the show. However, the writers apparently decided they weren't content with such biting satire of black and white race relations, so instead they figured that what they really needed was the obligatory Native American stereotype.
Speed it up, Moonwolf. I know they came this way.
Broken twig.
What the devil does that mean?
Means white man's horse. Have no respect for nature.
Curly's horse?
Not matter. All white men's horse slob. Make mess on trail. Keep going. Indian horse. Need. Dig hole. Bury it.
I'm not a white man.
You not white man?
No, fool. I'm a black man.
That's right. You black white man.
No. Listen. I'm a black man. You're a red man. And Curly and his men are white men.
In that case, you, my brother, we stop, make fire. Have brotherhood ceremony.
Oh, no, we don't have any time. Now, we got to find Curly and his gang. Just found it.
So after a shootout with Curly and his goons, the mayor shows up to gloat over Bart and Moonwolf being stretched out on pegs. But fortunately, Belle rides to the rescue, aided by an army of stock footage to back her up.
Hold it right, sir, Curly. Now, you will all drop your belts. Und I mean the ones with the guns on them.
I love you, Belle, darling. But you're just gonna have to find a better way to make that happen. You just found it.
Back at the jail, with Curly back behind bars, Bart gets a response to his telegram where the judge states that since he can't preside over the case himself, he's appointed Bart to act as judge in his stead. Because that's how you got a fair trial in the Old West, by God. So yeah, 3 guesses how the trial goes.
Malaga, the people of the town of Paris accuse you of the toe shooting of Barney Horseface Kunkel, Wallace Landon, and John Porter. Now, how do you plead?
Oh, now I'm not gonna let it.
Not guilty.
Very well. Call Barney Horseface Kunkel to the stand.
Your Honor, Horseface isn't here. He left on the afternoon stage.
All the more remarkable, since there is no afternoon state. Call Wally Landon to the stand.
Not here. Gone to visit his aunt.
And where is his aunt?
Well, the minister said, heaven.
That leaves John Porter. Will you take the stand?
You bet I will.
Are you John Porter, one of the men that my nephew allegedly shot?
Yes, sir.
That same John Porter that's 3 months behind in mortgage payments to my bank?
Yes, sir.
Well, now tell me, Mr. Porter, how did you hurt your feet? Was it an accident?
Yes, sir. I was taking a bath and cleaning my guns at the same time, and I bent over to pick up my soap, and boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Your witness.
No, I think he's your witness. Step down.
But wait a minute, maybe Reb can turn the tide and see that justice is done.
I'll call Reb Jordan, my star witness. Tell us what happened, Reb.
How do I know? She just left me. Maybe I didn't tell her I love her enough. Maybe I told her too much. Okay.
Or not. Hey, did anybody check this guy out for any form of civil service before we hired him as a lawman?
Hard to believe that man was once the governor of Mississippi.
That explains so much. So, with no other choice, Bart finds Curly not guilty, but all may not be as lost as it seems.
Next case. The people of the town of Paris versus Curly Malaga.
For what?
For jail busting, assault, and resisting arrest. And this time, Mayor, we got plenty of evidence and a whole lot of eyewitnesses. Now, there's me, there's Moonwolf, and there's Bell, and a whole tribe of satisfied Indians. And that's going to be 40 days or $40.
So yeah, this whole episode was nothing but a long, shaggy dog story to explain how Bart got the $40 to pay for his new gun. Or did he?
I just dropped in to say hello to Curly and show off my new gun.
Well, that's the gun I was going to buy.
Yep, I ground the mech down to $22.50.
But that was a $40 con.
Sheriff, come quick. They're robbing the mayor's bank.
Well, don't just stand there.
I couldn't go up against any bank robbers with this old thing.
Then use mine.
Thank you, Mayor, but I couldn't borrow another man's gun. Why, the massa back on the plantation?
I'll trade you even. Just save my bank.
I don't see any robbery.
Well, baby, it's all in where you look. Do love this gun.
So that's Black Bart. And I don't think anybody is wondering why it didn't get picked up for a series. There's none of the charm or wit of Blazing Saddles here. The show is clearly trying to follow in the footsteps of its movie cousin with the casual dropping of racial epithets couched in jokes about how those using said epithets are idiots. But there's no cleverness here. The jokes don't work, even with the unwanted assistance of the laugh track. Most of the performances are bland and flat, even from the more developed characters like Belle and Reb. Lou Gossett Jr. is actually quite charming as Bart and tries his best with the material he has, but there's really nothing to work with here aside from the basic joke of, see how stupid these racist morons are? There's almost no other kind of humor here, and it grates after about 5 minutes. Black Bart is, sadly, no Blazing Saddles. If you're interested in seeing Black Bart for yourself, it was included in a special feature that came out on the 30th anniversary DVD release of Blazing Saddles, which came out about 10 years ago. I don't know if it's on the Blu-ray release, so you might need to check that out for yourself, but if you're really interested, here's where you can definitely find it. Although God knows why you would want to. I'm Dubious Khan. Join me next time for another trip into the Idiot Box. Yes, I like Sailor Moon. Shut up.